Nobody claps in the quiet phase. Nobody reposts it. Nobody congratulates you. It's just you and your consistency. You're waking up early, no one sees it. You're posting, the views are low. You're training, your body hasn't changed. That gap between effort and evidence, that's the test. Most rebuilds don't fail with a crash. They fail with a fade. So let me ask you, are you uncomfortable because you're growing or because you're drifting?
Yes, my people. Thank you for joining me again, man. I appreciate your consistency. If you've been with me from the start of this series, you already understand the progression. Part 1 was about freedom, the door opening, the space to choose, the moment where excuses die and options appear. But I asked you, now that you're free, who are you becoming? Because freedom alone doesn't build you. It just removes the cage. Then part 2, freedom was phase 1. Responsibility was phase 2. No more blaming your past. No more blaming the system. No more blaming the people. You take ownership of your habits, your discipline, your direction. Then part 3, growth will cost you. Because when you change, when you level up, when you stop participating in chaos, the circle shifts. Not everyone comes with you. And that brings us here, the phase nobody glorifies. The quiet. Nobody claps in the quiet phase. Nobody reposts it. Nobody congratulates you. There's no drama, no big turning point, no cinematic moment. It's just you and your consistency. Most people think growth feels powerful. They think it's motivating, exciting, visible. But it's not. Most of the time, growth feels boring. It's repetitive. It's lonely. And that's why most people stop. The quiet phase is when you're waking up early and nobody knows. You're working on your discipline and nobody sees. You're building something that hasn't produced results yet. You're posting and the views are low. You're training and your body hasn't changed yet. You're studying and the opportunities haven't come yet. The gap between effort and evidence, that's the quiet. This is where your mind gets loud. What if it isn't working? What if I was better off how I was? What if nobody cares? Your brain hates uncertainty. It wants validation. It wants proof. But growth demands belief before evidence. That's the test. Chaos is easy to blame. When your life is falling apart, you can point at something. But in a quiet phase, there's nothing dramatic happening. It's just repetition. And repetition exposes whether you're disciplined or just emotional. Real discipline isn't loud. It doesn't need witnesses. It doesn't need applause. It shows up because it said it would, even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching. That's where identity is formed. When I came home, there was no cameras. There was no spotlight, no guarantee, just structure or nothing. And I realized something quickly. Nobody is coming to maintain your discipline for you. Nobody is going to wake you up. Nobody is going to protect your standards. If you don't hold them, they drop. The quiet phase doesn't destroy you loudly. It erodes you slowly. You skip one day, then 2, then 3. You delay, you rationalize, you negotiate with yourself. And before you know it, you're drifting. And that's how rebuilds fail. Not with a crash, with a fade. The quiet is where routine becomes identity. You don't try to be disciplined anymore. You are disciplined. You don't feel motivated. You move regardless, because motivation is emotional. Structure is mechanical, and mechanics win long term. Here's what most people don't understand. If you survive the quiet phase, you become dangerous, calm, unshakable, measured, because you no longer depend on attention. You depend on standards, and standards don't fluctuate. One day, without announcement, you'll look back and realize you didn't need the noise. You didn't need validation. You didn't need approval. You needed time and consistency. And that's it. If you're rebuilding your life right now, if you're restructuring everything, this phase is mandatory. You cannot skip the quiet. You cannot outsource belief. You cannot shortcut repetition. You earn momentum. You earn results. You earn confidence through boring consistency. So let me ask you something. Are you uncomfortable because you're growing or uncomfortable because you're drifting? The quiet will expose that. And not publicly, privately. Freedom opened the door. Responsibility forced ownership. Growth thinned the circle. Silence builds the foundation. And here's the truth. If you don't quit in the quiet, you don't lose later. That's where the real rebuild happens. Not in the noise, not in the applause, in the repetition. So the question is simple. Are you folding in silence or are you forming? It's just a paperboy. I'll see you on the next one.
If you've taken anything away from this episode, please, my people, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you, man.